Good, y'all? I'm Jerry, about to check out 10 shocking wrestling moments that made fans go silent. This video is about Wrestling Flashback. Two particular moments I feel like that made wrestling fans go silent. Number one would have to be when The Undertaker lost against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 and had his streak ruined and finally lost at WrestleMania, and everybody was shocked because there's like the highlight of one of every WrestleMania is when The Undertaker has to defend the streak. In this particular WrestleMania, he lost. And another reason, I don't know if he's gonna have it in his video, is when Edge announced his retirement live on Raw back in 2011 and due to neck injuries, and I know fans were shocked about that moment right there. So I'm ready to hop into the video, man. We're on the road to 2K subscribers, so let's go.
The fans are the heart and soul of wrestling. Their noise and energy help provide the soundtrack to the action we see in the ring. But there are also times when the crowd are quiet.
Also, when Roman announced his leukemia diagnosis.
However, sometimes we get those rare occasions where the audience are so shocked by what they've seen, they react with silence. We'll be focusing on some of these moments today as we look at 10 stunned crowd reactions in wrestling.
Eddie Guerrero has nothing but disdain for Rey Mysterio.
Our first example takes us back to ECW in 1996 for an event known as High Incident. This show is best known for two things: Kurt Angle's first professional wrestling appearance and the infamous crucifixion of the Sandman. Sandman had just successfully defended his ECW championship against Too Cold Scorpio, and following the match, Sandman would be attacked by Raven, who then ordered Stevie Richards, Nova, and the Blue Meanie to tie Sandman to a cross.
And I'm there going, oh, this is
fucked
up, Meanie. This is fucked up.
The Sandman was given a crown of barbed wire as he hung from the cross, creating one of the most shocking images ever seen in wrestling.
This is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life.
A stunned silence emanated throughout the ECW arena, which normally housed the most rowdy and vocal of fans.
And that was a one time in the ECW arena where the fans weren't saying, yo, go to hell and screaming. They were just quiet.
It was the right kind of heat. I mean, the people were like, this is heavy. You know what I mean? They were just like that, the quiet Japanese heat.
Raven was forced to apologize for going through with the crucifixion, seemingly without the knowledge of the promotion's CEO, Paul Heyman.
So for the people who I deeply offended, I apologize.
Heyman also insisted he knew nothing about the Angle when confronted by Kurt Angle. A furious Angle threatened legal action and demanded that his segment from earlier in the night not be aired on the same show as the crucifixion.
If I'm on TV with that crucifixion, if my name or my face is seen on TV on the same program, you'll be hearing from my attorney.
Kurt's relationship with ECW effectively ended on the night it began, as the recently crowned Olympic gold medalist would make no further appearances for the company. The promotion made sure to never air the incident, with footage of it only coming to light as a result of being featured on the rise and fall of ECW DVD. Much like ECW did, the WWF's Attitude Era also pushed the envelope, and one way in which they did this came in the form of man-on-women violence. One of the most shocking examples of this taking place occurred on the April 9, 2001 edition of Raw, where Triple H and Stone Cold, as the two-man power trip, teamed with Stephanie McMahon to take on the Hardy Boys and Lita. It was a short but entertaining match with plenty of action-packed offense from both teams. The finish came when Lita hit a Twist of Fate and moonsault combination to Stephanie, which got the 3. After the bell, Austin and Triple H cornered Lita.
That was the first time they hit a woman with a chair. I think that was the only time.
The Hardys then attempted to intervene, but were instead beaten down with a steel chair. Austin rained down a series of chair shots to Matt, who Lita bravely tried to shield from the beating, but it only got worse.
I ain't never seen nothing like that
Lita
since.
was done to get heat on Stone Cold, who had just turned heel at WrestleMania by delivering a steel chair beatdown to The Rock, just like the one he had dished out to Lita. The fans just did not want to boo Austin though. They even cheered him after his chair shots to Matt Hardy, but they remained mostly quiet for the Rattlesnake's destruction of Lita. Which was unsurprising given that this was probably one of the most brutal beatings ever given to a woman
I've never
by a
seen
man
that before
in WWE history. Another memorable moment in WWE history occurred at the 1994 Survivor Series. Here, Bret Hart defended the WWF Championship against Bob Backlund in a submission match, where the only way to win would be if one wrestler's cornermen threw in the towel. The British Bulldog was in the corner of Bret, while Owen Hart was in Backlund's corner, as Owen and Bret's parents, Stu and Helen Hart, sat in the front row. Deep into the match, Bret gained the advantage by locking in the sharpshooter until Owen interfered by attacking his brother from behind. This led to the Bulldog chasing Owen and then charging at him, only for Owen to move and Bulldog to crash into the steps. A concerned Bret looked on to see if Bulldog was okay, but this left Hart in a prime position for a cross-faced chicken wing at the hands of Backlund. This was a move the WWF had done a great job of getting over on television in the months prior, with no one being able to get out of the hole. This made things all the worse for Bret, since his corner man was out cold. From there, Owen pleaded with his parents, attempting to make them throw in the towel on Bret's behalf. Helen attempted to throw the towel in, only for Stu to stop her. The fans continued to get behind Bret, who'd been struggling in the hole for over 9 minutes.
Damn.
Eventually, it became too much to bear for Helen, who snatched the towel away from Stu, throwing it in the ring and causing the match to come to an end. Owen immediately ran in and grabbed the towel, reeling away in celebration since his plan had worked to perfection. Backlund stood in the ring victorious as a concerned silence came over the crowd.
Gorilla Monsoon, I think we have a new World Wrestling Federation champion.
Stu and Helen helped Bret to the back, whilst Backlund was presented with the WWF Championship in the ring.
I can't believe it! I cannot believe it!
Next, we have an instance in which fans were shocked over a booking decision, occurring at the 2017 Backlash.
Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton.
Mahal challenged Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. The match began to get interesting once the wrestlers brought the action to the outside. There, Orton delivered 3 backdrops onto the announce table to Jinder and his managers, the Singh brothers.
Oh my God! Inside out by Orton!
Randy politely gave JBL back his hat before the Viper continued his annihilation of the Singhs by hitting a double draping DDT. But this gave time for Jinder to recover, allowing him to hit the Coloss on Orton, which shockingly got the victory. The people in the building reacted in amazement.
That's crazy. Now that was unexpected
No
right
one
there.
could believe that Jinder Mahal was the new WWE champion, since Mahal had been an enhancement talent for nearly all of his time in WWE, but had now been quickly fast-tracked into winning the WWE title in order to increase WWE's growing popularity in India. Had the company done a better job in building up Mahal prior to winning the belt, his victory wouldn't have come off as so shocking. We now go to a match that not only shocked the fans, but also did damage to an entire market. This happened when NWO killed the town at WCW Fall Brawl 1997 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The match in question saw the NWO battle the 4 Horsemen in War Games. The New World Order started out with a 2-on-1 advantage, double-teaming Chris Benoit. Steve Mongo McMichael then entered to even the odds. The next wrestler out was Six, followed up by the Nature Boy Ric Flair, much to the audience's delight. Kevin Nash was the final entry for the NWO, and then Kurt Hennig entered last for the Horsemen. It was now a 4v4 match, but the odds swung yet again in the NWO's favour when Kurt Hennig turned on the Horsemen, effectively joining the New World Order in the process. The remaining Horsemen members were then bound to the cage via the handcuffs Hennig provided, all except for Ric Flair, who instead received a jackknife powerbomb from Nash. Flair's head was then placed in the cage doorway, and the NWO threatened to smash Ric's skull with the steel unless the Horsemen surrendered. But despite Mongo surrendering for his team, Hennig went through with the assault anyway.
Ooh!
Rick and the announcers sold the moment tremendously, while the crowd looked on in shock. This was Flair country after all.
The most sickening night
They gotta have Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley, what they did at Extreme Rules. They gotta have that moment out here.
Witnessed their favorite wrestler
Since that just popped into since that just came up, that particular moment just popped in my mind.
In a more heartbreaking moment now, we go back to the October 22nd, 2018
I knew they were gonna have this one right here,
Raw, where the Universal Champion Roman Reigns opened the show to talk to the audience. Reigns would speak out of character, saying that his real name was Joe, and that he'd previously been living with leukemia when he was younger, and unfortunately, it had returned.
I've been living with leukemia for 11 years.
You could hear a pin drop as the fans couldn't believe it. They watched on in shock, with some being driven to tears. Reigns then relinquished the Universal Championship and was met by his fellow Shield members Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins on the ramp. They each did their famous pose to end one of the most emotional segments ever in WWE history.
I can't be that fight champion, and I'm going to have to relinquish that Universal Championship.
2 hours after Reigns' announcement, the crowd would be completely stunned
Dean
as the main
turned on
event of the
himself.
show and the Raw Tag Team titles were on the line when Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins challenged Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Late into the bout, the referee would be bumped. Braun Strowman then ran in and brawled through the crowd with McIntyre. Ziggler then tried to use the tag belt as a weapon, only for it to be taken off him by Ambrose. Dolph then ate a curb stomp while Ambrose threw the ref back into the ring to count the fall, meaning Ambrose and Rollins were the new Raw Tag Team Champions. During the celebrations, however, Ambrose turned
hit him
on
with
Rollins
dirty
by hitting
deeds.
Seth with the dirty deeds.
What the hell? What the hell?
The fans' faces told the
Not on
story,
this night.
since it was unfathomable that Ambrose would turn on Rollins on such a night. Fans were left asking why, as Dean continued to punish Seth, taking the assault to the outside. From there, Ambrose tore off the protective padding to expose the floor. One more dirty deeds later, and Ambrose exited through the crowd.
That's crazy.
Wrestlers performing through injury has been a common occurrence throughout the sport's existence. This may be worked into the story of a match where fans will know how much pain the wrestler is in based on how they're selling. It's much rarer for the audience to actually be able to see the scars or physical marks of the injury. This made the story of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins' match inside Hell in a Cell all the more special.
This year.
Rhodes entered the match with a torn pectoral muscle, and once the American Nightmare removed his jacket, he revealed the true effects of the injury. It was as if all the air had been taken out of the arena. The audience went from chanting Cody's name to becoming eerily quiet. Rhodes sensationally worked through the injury as he and Rollins
That was
wrestled
gruesome to
an all-time
watch.
classic match. Through all the punishment, Cody fought back by using a bull
Ooh.
rope, hitting 2 crossroads, and then nailing Rollins with a sledgehammer to pick up the win. One wrestling moment that will live in infamy took place at
This had to be
WrestleMania
number. This
30,
should have been
the
number
night
one.
where Brock Lesnar wrestled The Undertaker. The dead man went into the match with a 21-0 WrestleMania undefeated streak. The build to the match made it seem like it would play out like any other streak match. But if we go further back, we'll remember when Taker and Lesnar went to war in 2002 and 2003, with the Phenom never managing to come out with his hand raised. Brock always seemed to have Taker's number. However, Mania
Taker
30
number one.
seemed like the perfect time for the dead man to finally get his big win over the Beast and make it 22-0 on the grandest stage. Early in the match, Taker took a nasty bump on the floor, which ultimately gave him a concussion. This greatly affected the match, as Undertaker looked like a shell of himself. For the
That
rest
match
of
was
the encounter.
slow as
It
hell.
hurt so bad. I don't even remember that match. So today, I don't remember it.
Amazingly though, despite his condition and state of mind, the dead man was still able to deliver all of his signature moves. But so was Lesnar.
I did not know
3
that.
F5s in
He
total,
couldn't remember
and then
that
going
match.
for the cover. The fans' reaction to the pinfall tells the whole story, as they came out of their seats in complete amazement.
The streak is over.
While others
Damn.
looked on, some in surprise, some in confusion, and some in a complete trance. Many believed The Undertaker would retire undefeated at WrestleMania, or at the very least have the streak broken by a younger wrestler. So when Lesnar got the victory, it shocked
Damn.
everyone. There are not many moments in wrestling that could have gathered such an incredible reaction.
Nope.
And it's hard to imagine we'll ever see anything like this again. Nevertheless, this is the one time in wrestling where everyone remembers where they were watching, and most importantly, how they felt.
That's
Ultimate
crazy.
respect to The Undertaker.
Finally, we'll look at perhaps the only moment that can rival The Undertaker's streak breaking when it comes to fan reaction. We're talking about the night Bruno Sammartino lost the WWF Championship after holding the belt for over 7 years before losing to the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff at Madison
That's
Square Garden.
crazy.
in
Bruno was burnt out, though.
1971. There exists only grainy 8mm film footage of the match, but it's still crazy to watch it all play out. The Garden was said to have been reminiscent of a funeral on the night. Given the crowd's
Damn.
astonishment, it was inconceivable that Bruno would lose the title he held for so long. So much so that Koloff was not presented with the belt until after he got back into the locker room, as it was feared the MSG crowd would riot had Koloff
Damn.
paraded the title around the ring. Instead,
That's
he
crazy.
quickly left as the audience looked on. Some were in tears, but all were in shock. And that brings us to the end of this video.
That's how
As always, if
you
you
know
enjoyed the
somebody
video,
loves
be
your
sure to give it a
character
like
so
and
much
subscribe to the
that
channel.
they
And if
can
you
have
like
a
this
reaction
one,
like
be sure
that
to
when
check out our
something
video
goes
10
shockingly
times
wrong.
Fans hijacked them.
When a match ends shockingly unusual than it's supposed to, that's how you know somebody loves their character, man. But overall, man, this was a great video, man. I knew they was gonna have Brock and Undertaker's WrestleMania match, how Brock beat the Streak, and I thought they were gonna have Edge announce his retirement in 2011, but I guess I was wrong. But overall, this was a great video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, I'll see y'all next time. We still on the road to 2K subscribers, man. So holla at me out. I'm out. Peace.